No football games for Penn State this week, but lots of news in the program as the Nittany Lions end the regular season 10-2. They destroyed Maryland 66-3 on Saturday down in College Park, and about to find out over the next few days what bowl game they're going to be going to. Probably a pretty good one. It seems like the consensus is that they're most likely going to the Cotton Bowl, maybe to play an SEC opponent. We'll see, but that's not really the big news. The big news is, and we've just learned in the last 24 hours, is that Joe Moorhead is apparently going to leave, the offensive coordinator at Penn State, to become the head coach at Mississippi State in the SEC, replacing Dan Mullen, who has become the new coach at Florida. Moorhead has had, in just 2 years, had a huge impact on Penn State's program, and particularly on their offensive attack. Their numbers went from some of the worst in the country to some of the best. They averaged 38 points plus a game last year, 42 points a game this year. A dynamic offense that was a lot of fun to watch, that was a dramatic departure from what has been the traditional way of doing it in Happy Valley, and his impact has been huge, and it begs the question, what happens going forward? You know that James Franklin has a plan, because he has a plan for everything. I guarantee you that he has somewhere in a binder, he has a list of 30 offensive coordinators that could be the next guy, and he probably has already talked to many of them. I think it's a possibility that Ricky Ronnie, the tight ends coach on their current staff, who has a lot of varied experience, has been an interim offensive coordinator, is an Ivy League guy, a very sharp guy who has said that his career goal is not to be a head coach, but it is to be an offensive coordinator. He's certainly a candidate for it. I'm sure he would get to the interview stage. There will be other guys around the country who are going to be in play for that too, and that we'll find out over the next couple of weeks as we go forward. I would imagine that it will happen in the next 2 weeks. I mean, assuming that the Moorhead thing is real, and by all accounts it is. Somebody would have denied it by now if it wasn't. Franklin will pull the trigger on a new offensive coordinator very soon. And whether or not Joe Moorhead is still the offensive coordinator when Penn State plays its bowl game is something that's another question going forward. Saquon Barkley, is he turning pro? He almost certainly is. We'll probably find that out after they play in the bowl game for sure. And a lot of relative upheaval for the program right now, considering how successful Penn State has been. That's it. Joe Moorhead is out. Penn State moves forward to play sometime around New Year's Day, and then moves into the offseason with a considerable amount of uncertainty. I'm Mike Gross for LancasterOnline.com.